Hi, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. Well, here's some weird question for a carnivore channel. Whatever happened to day-old bread? And I remember back when I was a kid, and this is something that only boomers will probably remember, but when I was a kid, they used to have two bread sections. They had the fresh bread, and then they had the day-old bread, because bread went bad after about 3 days, and it would get moldy. So there was a very limited shelf life. But I didn't realize it because I haven't bought bread for a very long time, but I saw an article in the Wall Street Journal that talked about this very subject, that these guys had bought a loaf of bread back in April, and he looked at it in August and realized it hasn't gotten moldy yet. The shelf life of breads now, like you get a Wonder Bread or something like that, is 2 months. This is a product that in my lifetime used to have a shelf life of a few days. Now can last for months. Did anybody ask us that? Anything about it? Did anybody ask any serious questions about what the health effect of all this ultra-processed food and all this shelf-stable stuff was going to do to us? Our government tells us to eat more whole grains, eat more bread. Well, this is not the same bread that our ancestors ate 10,000 years ago when ag started. This is stuff that now lasts 2 months on the shelf, chock full of different chemicals, highly ultra processed. When you compare the United States versus Europe, about 7 to 8%, 7 to 14% of their food is considered ultra processed by our standards. We get 60% of our food in the form of ultra processed food. 70% if you're a kid or a teen, which means, and you correlate that. And if you've ever been to Europe or you've seen, when people come over from Europe, they notice that we're really fat and we're not very energetic, and we have a difficult time walking around for long periods of time. And when I went to Europe, the last 5 or 6 trips that I've gone over there for work, I get off my low carb kick when I'm over there because frankly, the bread is better. I just notice it. It's like whenever I, occasionally might taste some bread or something like that here, I do not like it. Our desserts are like sugar bombs. Our bread doesn't taste like the stuff that I used to make. I don't like it. But when I was over in Europe, this stuff is tasty, 4-ingredient bread, and it tastes really good. And desserts there are not sugar bombs. And, I'm eating dessert, I'm eating bread, and I came back and I was going, oh my gosh, I'm going to probably have gained a bunch of weight. And actually, I lost weight. I usually lose a few pounds when I'm over in Europe. Even, switching from my normal diet to eating their food because it's just better. So ask yourself a question. Who started making these changes to our food, and why hasn't the medical system cared? And frankly, I think it boils down to money. I mean, the government, their interest is really in trying to keep food prices low, because when food prices go up, voters get angry. And big food is just trying to increase their profit margins. They don't really care about your health. The medical profession, frankly, has been incredibly silent on this. Hardly anybody is talking about the effects of ultra-processed food on us. We're like part of the biggest ongoing medical experiment probably in the history of the planet. And nobody is asking us, do we care, and do we have anything to say about this, and what's the effect on our health? And frankly, when you look at America's health, it ain't real good. The obesity rate is skyrocketing. Type 2 diabetes is threatening in the next decade to cost us as a country over $1 trillion. We're seeing an increase in Alzheimer's disease, which is called type 3 diabetes. It affects our mental health over time. There's a lot of cost to eating all this ultra-processed food that is making up the biggest bulk of our diet. every single day as a country. So what do you do about it? Well, I mean, you can complain, you can say, shake your fist at the government, but frankly, in this fight for your health, you're all alone in this. I mean, the only one that can look after you is you. So what I've done is I've gotten out. I mean, I buy my beef from a local rancher who grass feeds and finishes it, and it doesn't get hormones and it doesn't get antibiotics. It's a regenerative ranch. It's cut up at a local butcher. I get my eggs from my egg lady down the street who pasture raises her eggs. Yeah, it may cost a little more on the front end, but frankly, not much, because it's so nutrient dense, I don't have to eat as much. And add to that, I don't have to participate in the medical system. And when you put pencil to paper and you really take a look at, okay, how much does it cost you to be sick? How much does it cost you to be metabolically unwell? And your insurance cost, and your co-pays, and the drugs that you're taking on a regular basis. And compare that to what it would cost to buy food, real food from real ranchers and your own egg lady and stuff like that. Would you save money? Would your budget actually be less if you were eating real food and got healthy? And when you look at it from that perspective, I think you'll see that there's real cost savings with eating better quality food that may cost a little more on the front end, but actually will save you money in the long run. Food for thought. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. If you like this message, if you think more people ought to hear it, do me a favor. Hit the like and subscribe. Get more people to join this channel. Share it with others. Join this tribe of other like-minded people who are trying to get healthy, get out of the healthcare system, and take care of themselves, because frankly, no one is looking after your health. The only one who can look after your health is you. This is a grassroots movement that really depends on your involvement, not anybody else's. I try to put out a couple messages each week. I will talk to you again soon.